There's a 3D market where cheap doesn't win. Projects repeat quarterly, and you're not competing against 200 other artists on Instagram. It's engineering and manufacturing, and most 3D freelancers completely ignore it. But here's what nobody tells you. Knowing this market exists and actually landing your first client are two entirely different problems. They don't post jobs. They often don't know what a 3D visualization artist is. They don't wake up thinking, I need to hire a 3D freelancer. So how do you reach out to them? What do you say? And what happens after they say yes to a call? Here's the full playbook. Finding them where nobody looks. Reaching them with a message that actually works. Landing the project by thinking like a business partner, not a vendor. One thing before the tactics, because if you approach engineering clients the same way you approach creative clients, you fail. Not because your work isn't good enough, because you're speaking the wrong language. Creative clients buy the craft. Engineering clients buy a business outcome. They don't care about render quality for its own sake. They care about closing a distribution deal, winning a trade show, getting a medical device through procurement. Your render is the tool. The business outcome is the product. The moment you sell the outcome instead of the tool, you stop competing with the other 3D artists entirely. This is the shift. Everything that follows depends on it. So where do these companies actually live? The answer is hiding in plain sight. Method 1. Trade show exhibitor lists. Every major industry trade show publishes a full list of who's exhibiting, publicly, for free. Manufacturing, medical devices, industrial automation. Hannover Messe, MedTech, Formnext, hundreds of them. That exhibitor list is a pre-qualified database of companies that build physical products, are investing in marketing and sales, and are spending money right now to stand in front of buyers. But here's the part most people miss. If a trade show is within driving distance, you go, physically, walk the floor. You're not there to sell, you're there to observe. Look at their booth, look at the visuals they're using right now. Are they showing renders that match their engineering precision or the actual product? Almost never. And here's the strategic insight. Every other 3D artist in the world can email these companies, but you are the one who showed up. You saw their booth. You understand their product in person. That puts you in a completely different category when you reach out. I was at your booth at Hannover Messe. The engineering on the new actuator line is impressive. I noticed the product visuals at the stand didn't communicate that same level of precision. That is not a cold email. That is a conversation from someone who did the work. If trade shows are near you, that's your advantage over every remote freelancer in the world. Use it. Method 2. LinkedIn. But not the way most artists use it. Not posting your renders and waiting. The strategy is outbound. You search for decision makers at the kind of companies from your trade show list, whether you attended or not. Product marketing manager, marketing director, head of communications at the mid-sized engineering company. You are not going through HR. You are not applying for a job. You are having a peer-level conversation with someone who has business problem and the budget to solve it. This is positioning. Industry publications and local manufacturing directories work too, same principles. But trade shows and LinkedIn are where you start. Not every engineering company is a good prospect. 3 filters save you enormous time. 1. Are they B2B? Industrial companies selling to other businesses have higher margins, longer buying cycles, and more budget per project. Default to B2B technical products first. 2. Is there a visible gap between product quality and visual quality? Their product is precision engineered. Their imagery looks like it was shot with a phone in the warehouse. That gap is your opportunity. They know something is wrong. They just haven't prioritized fixing it yet. 3. Is there evidence of active sales and marketing? Trade shows, industry advertising, even a small marketing team. If yes, there's budget. There's someone who cares. There's a conversation to be had. You can learn all 3 things from their website and LinkedIn in about 10 minutes. That's the price of not wasting an afternoon on outreach that was never going to convert. Now, what do you actually say? This is where most 3D artists get it wrong. Let's look at what doesn't work first. Hi, I'm a 3D visualization artist with 8 years of experience. I'd love to work with your company. Here's my portfolio. That puts the entire burden on them. They have to understand what 3D visualization is, figure out how it applies to their situation, then decide whether to respond. Too much work. They have a company to run. Here's what actually works. You lead with the observation about them. I was looking at your product range for a specific product. The engineering looks exceptional. I noticed the product imagery doesn't reflect that same level of precision, which might be holding back the sales conversation before it starts. You are not asking for work, you are identifying a gap that they already know exists, framed in a business terms. The sales conversation, not the visual quality. Then you make the connection specific. I work with engineering companies to turn their existing CAD data into high-end product visuals without building new 3D models from scratch. Most projects complete in 2 to 3 weeks. 2 sentences, no portfolio link, no prices, just I know your problem, I solve it, and it's easier than you think. Then you ask for the call. Would it make sense to have a short conversation to see if this is relevant for your next product launch or trade show? Short, specific, low commitment. A call to see if it's relevant, not would you like to work together. That framing respects their time and gives them an easy yes. LinkedIn direct message is my first choice for this market. Engineering decision makers are there to do business. A thoughtful message from someone who's clearly looked at their company gets read. You don't need 200 prospects, you need 20 well-researched ones. 20 thoughtful outreaches beat 200 generic ones every time. They said yes to the call, now what? Most freelancers treat the first call as a pitch. It is not. The first call is diagnostics. 4 questions I always want answered. 1. What does this visual asset need to do? Not what should it look like. What decision does it support? A trade show, a distributor pitch, a funding round. The answer defines the entire brief. 2. Who is the audience? Procurement manager at a hospital, distributor in Southeast Asia, end consumer. The audience changes everything about how you frame and light. 3. What have they tried before? A 3D studio, the CAD software's built-in renderer, a photographer. This tells you how sophisticated they are as a buyer and what specifically wasn't working. 4. What does success look like for them? Not do you like the render? What happens after that would make them consider this a complete win? If the answer is we close our first European distributor deal, you know exactly what that render needs to communicate. Now you might think, isn't this a lot of questions? These are not interrogation questions. They are questions of someone who takes their work seriously enough to understand context before starting. Engineering clients respect this because their engineers ask the same questions before any project. You are showing them you think like a business partner, not a vendor waiting for a purchase order. This is relevance. After the call, send a short follow-up within 24 hours, not a formal proposal yet. A summary of what you discussed and clear next step. Following our conversation, I understand we are preparing for a trade show and need a hero visual for a product. I'll put together a project outline and send it by a specific date. 3 things that does. Shows you listened, creates accountability, and moves things forward without a hard sell. Then when you send the proposal, 1 page. Business outcome at the top, scope in 3 to 5 bullets, timeline, investment, price with confidence. You know what this asset is for. Price the outcome, not the hours. So here's the simple version. Find them at trade shows and on LinkedIn, looking for the gap between product quality and visual quality. Reach them with a message about their business problem, not about your 3D skills, and win the project by acting like a strategic partner from the very first message. The artists who thrive in this market over the next 10 years are not the ones with just the most impressive renders. They are the ones who understand that what they're really selling is clarity. If you understand that running a 3D freelance business is more than just being a good artist, you should join our free community. Link will be down below.